Welcome to Comcast Local Edition. I'm Donna Richardson, and my guest this hour is Congressman Gerry Connolly, Virginia's 11th District. Welcome, Congressman. It's always a pleasure.
Great to be back.
Now, you've been very busy since the last time we had an opportunity to talk. Congratulations. I know you sponsored the Defense Authorization Bill, which benefits federal employees, military families, and personnel.
That's right.
And what are the impacts?
Well, you know, it's a great lesson of sort of, if at first you don't succeed, try again. We had a number of provisions that we had adopted on the Oversight and Government Reform Committee to help federal workers and federal retirees. We allowed people to sort of re-up for federal service without penalty. Those who wanted to go toward the end of their career in part-time service weren't penalized again for averaging their 3 before they retired. There were a number of other provisions helping federal workers and retirees. Those provisions were in the tobacco bill. They passed the House. They were jettisoned, unfortunately, by the Senate in conference. So we tried again by putting them on the Defense Authorization Bill, and the good news is they have passed. So there are going to be a number of reforms that will benefit federal workers and benefit the federal government, because one of the big challenges we've got as we move out to the future is recruitment and retention for the federal workforce of the future. So that's good news for the federal government.
Excellent. Now, veterans issues have also been one of your key focuses, and you co-sponsored the Veterans Legislation Bill, H.R. 1016. And how is that going to benefit the veterans?
There are lots of benefits in there for housing, for TRICARE, for post-traumatic stress syndrome. But maybe the biggest single factor of that bill is it forward funds veterans benefits so that we don't have to worry about an annual appropriation being stalled and health care benefits especially not being accessible for our veterans.
Excellent. And I didn't realize that every year it was needed that you had to vote on this for them.
Yeah, subject to an annual appropriation. So this would sort of give us a year in advance so that there'd be continuity of service for our veterans who served our country.
Now, Fairfax County Parkway has been in the making and the planning for the last 50 years. And you just had a major supporter come and help so that we can complete the last 2 miles.
That's right. President Obama came to the Parkway for the second time this year to highlight this project. Now, in February, he cited it as a project that would receive stimulus funding. In October, he cited the fact that it is now under construction with stimulus funding. It's about a $60 million project with stimulus funding. The good news, especially for Prince William County, about the completion of the Parkway is it will allow all those workers who were relocated under the BRAC process at Fort Belvoir coming from the south to be able to access the site with the completion of the Parkway. So it may only be 2 or 3 miles, but it's a critical missing piece that finally, as you said,
yes,
after many, many decades, we're going to get completed.
Yes, and it only took 50 years.
A warp time in federal speed. Exactly.
And then finally, we have about a minute and a half left. Where do we stand now with the health care reform? And, you know, is it moving forward? Is it stagnant now?
A lot of progress in health care reform. This month, the Senate Finance Committee finally reported out a bipartisan bill. So all 5 committees that have jurisdiction over health care reform have now reported out bills. The House and the Senate have to sort of merge their respective bills, and then we'll be bringing them to the floor for consideration and action, I would guess sometime in November. So I believe we are going to have a health care reform bill, and I believe it will be on the President's desk before the end of the year.
Bravo.
Thank you. Not easy, but very essential if people are going to have access to affordable health care as we move out in the future.
Which is so important. So I want to thank you and everyone else that's been working so diligently to try to make this a reality.
Thank you.
My guest this hour has been Congressman Gerry Connolly, representing District 11 for Virginia. And if you're interested in what Comcast is doing in your community, go to On Demand and click Get Local. For Comcast Local Edition, I'm Donna Richardson.